team, because it finally feels like they are pushing in that direction.
And to be honest, I think a lot of the restructuring is one of the reasons why we might be seeing that experimentation with BIST being planned out, right? IC's traditionally been more of a passive opera, much more in the Jame vein in that regards. So yeah, I don't really know what this is supposed to look like. It does look like we've seen high fives going around. I see like a nice little butterfly knife being flipped back and forth. So, you know, might be time to start knifing up and getting into the game. And yeah, there you have it. Into things we go. Virtus.pro will be starting things off with a flashbang of smoke on Fame and Molotov on Perfecto, and a lot of hopes and dreams on their shoulders as they're hoping that IC will not be too mean to them on the voice comms. Bet your BIST couldn't do that, huh?
Yeah, how sassy is he going to be to the team the whole time? This might be about whether or not he deserves the spot over a trial that they're giving to an academy player. Interesting idea here from Virtus.pro, a mid smoke and then running back the other way once they realize Legacy aren't being aggressive on that mid control. They should understand that they're segmented into sites, but they'll come in with very limited util. A smoke that sails out, Lado fighting up close, but Lux bails, but doesn't need the support. Lado holding down his position, Sadson with 2, just as they try to emerge up that ramp, and so this is a complete non-starter for Virtus.pro. Legacy shutting them out in the pistol.
Sadson, obviously one of the AWPers the only AWPer who we didn't talk about in this matchup. He's been a more quiet player as far as narratives are concerned, but it does feel like it's structured to be that way. It starts off incredibly well over here in the pistol round. When it comes to a map like Mirage, this is where you want to see him shine. Legacy keep 4 alive, very nicely done. The stack working out perfectly for them.
Yeah, I mean, they were 3-2, but it felt like a stacked. Nobody could get out from ramp from VP. The flash they threw was ineffective. The smoke they throw actually kind of forewarns Legacy as to what's coming, because they're playing this close ramp setup. Had they been playing in more defensive angles, maybe Virtus.pro could have escaped. But some nice shooting. Very confident start from Legacy, and it's one of the fears, you know, coming into maps like Mirage, is that there's actually this fighting pack that Legacy have is actually very threatening. I think if you look at them in South American bouts, you know, players like Dumao, Lado, Lux as this combo can be just ruthless.
Absolutely. Flash out in middle, but you can't have anyone moving away. Sadson, 4 kills, and he is really having a good start to things.
Yeah, hot damn. I mean, it's all headshots. he's popping everyone that comes onto his screen. You know, they don't have armor, but he's been very sharp, more so than you'd expect from an AWPer in the opening couple of rounds.
I'm also quite curious to see how Toro continues to perform with this team. Obviously, he's been another one of those, you know, VP prodigy promotions that have come through, and I'm really excited about whether or not this is going to be like an actually interesting talent that we haven't heard about. It does feel like one of the things about the CIS region is if there's anyone who's even remotely good, you're gonna hear about them within 3 weeks from like your overdrives, like different Twitter accounts. Someone's gonna do a demo review of them pretty soon and whatnot. Is this the next donkey? All the YouTube thumbnails you can think of. But right now, Duro out and about, and he's already down, so expectations have not been met. Dumao as well picks up another frag, and Legacy are reminding VP about that same firepower that you were talking about, Michael. This first gun round has gone abysmally. VP, in their attempt to accelerate, will at least be able to plant the bomb, though.
Yeah, I mean, there was no smoke CT, so they took a risk just even punching in those digits, but Legacy allowed the plant. And this 5-on-3, there's very limited resources here for Legacy, but they do have smokes should they decide to use them, but with the numbers advantage. Likely just to move in for trades. Nissim already dealing with one player inside of the site. Fame trying to lock down his position, but overwhelmed. And there will be not much of a stall from VP in that after plant. They do get that bomb down, but Legacy holding on to a lot of weapons and another fairly contained and controlled CT effort.
Yeah, 2 deaths in 3 rounds, and you've got 3 acres taken forward. That is best case scenario over here for Legacy. One of the things that BR obviously said in an interview recently is that, hey, we feel like we can win this tournament actually. And I do think that every single team that is at CAC probably thinks, hey, we're dark horse to make a deep run. And Legacy would be absolutely one of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no clear favorites. I think, you know, weirdly, and I wouldn't often describe this team as favorites in many of the tournaments they attend, but 3D Max genuinely might be our best favorites here. They have the least unknowns as to how the roster performs and how good they can be. It's maybe been about stability for them, but you look at other teams that are looking as contenders, FaZe, Liquid.
Yeah.
These are teams that have just made roster moves. Yeah, a lot of reasons to believe as a team that may be on the fringe, especially the teams that are outside of the major contention. We've got 16 teams in attendance. We've got 3 that don't have any place in this upcoming major, and being able to win tournaments where other teams may think that this hard part of the season is done by making it into that invite range. You have to set yourself up for the next season. You have to set yourself up and make use of being hungrier than some of these other teams, perhaps in attendance. VP are one of those teams that didn't make the major, so I'll have to try, even in weird circumstances, given their roster.
40 seconds on the clock as VP is maybe even setting up for a boost in the window. That's going to be the case. There's already a crossfire there, and Southzen pairing into connector. Good for the first kill before the smoke boom. Spots out a player going back into jungle. That's been eliminated. Turo down to Lux once again. And as has been the case in these last few rounds, it's either no eliminations or one at the most. Legacy continue to farm up the cash.
Yeah, VP just can't buy kills. They've had 2 kills in these 4 rounds so far. They are getting brutalized by just how sharp Legacy are entering this game with. And, entering maps like Mirage, Dust 2, Ancient, these are the types of maps I wouldn't want to face this sort of rifling combo on, but the surprise has been so far that even when Sadsen's been on a rifle, he's been just as sharp as the next guy on the roster. So there will be some difficulties here for VP, even if they haven't put in all the practice and work with Icy. How aggressive are they going to make Bist play? I'd be very surprised in the modern meta of late round clutching type AWPers that they would have Bist do anything too out of the ordinary that Icy couldn't adapt to. We gotta see what they've cooked up.
Nice start for Icy over here. He's the one getting aggressive. DB with a rare advantage. And Icy is hoping to extend that further. No, he'll receive a grenade instead. Legacy, meanwhile, are pushing in to clear out A main. They've got Lato and Sadzen to do that. They can also just keep Lato parked here. Let Sadzen maybe rotate away if they want him to. But all in the meanwhile, VP have yet to decide where the bomb is going to go. It's closer to spawn. If this is going to be a B-side finish, then you do have to deal with 2 pretty sharp aimers in Lux and Nassim. Nassim being boosted up over into balcony. Sadzen finds Flit, though, on the fadeaway.
That's really unideal. VP have to know that they have a timing to hit here. Legacy, when they're in the 4v5, we're almost always going to react. If they've looked at Legacy games, you can understand they're a very proactive team. They don't like working in deficits with very limited information. They were setting up to push the B apartments, but because Sadzen has gotten that kill on a player approaching the catwalk, they're actually holding steadfast in forward positions to try and defend these bomb sites. And so VP could find themselves in a bit of a trap should they haphazardly clear these sites. And with 30 seconds left, they're going to have to get a move on.
VP were expecting there to be some sort of reaction, but by the time that actually ends up being the real concern, it might be too late. Molotovs go the wrong way. Lato will be able to defend from under palace, and Sadzen proves to be a distraction. Lato proves to be a demolition. Instead, Icy, with the only 2 kills off the round, is going to be dropping right down into the underpass and trying to save his hide. Will be able to get that up into the next round, but VP, oh my god. Wait, Icy, no, I see it! Oh.
Nassim knew that he was in the underpass, and he just decided, why not give it a chance?
That's nice.
Icy obliges.
I don't think I've seen that work in like 8 years or something.
Yeah. Let alone for a kill and a save. But this is the issue. VP find an advantage off the rip on their mid-control take, and they simply do not capitalize. Lux can't believe they found the AWP. by the spam. It seems like the atmosphere is really solid for Legacy. They make an appropriate reaction to how the round starts out, but VP don't capitalize. They don't recognize the timing they could hit. And yeah, great block on the smoke there for Lado. This is going to disrupt the execution on this A bomb site, but there's no one from CT that can actually stop them from getting a plant in. They're banking largely on this flank that Dumao has set up.
Dumo's going to be incredibly fast on, and the CT players are going to be a distraction. In the meanwhile, Lux finds Flit through the smoke. They're going to have to funnel players forward for VP. They need to eliminate Lux, and that's what the call is. Fame's able to execute, now keeps on going forward. Nassim trying to hold off the same position, good for one, and now Dumao activates. Comes in from behind, the pressure is on. Nassim continues forward, the Perfecto is able to deal with him and back off into the safety of an AK. Icy still a hidden man, but how long will he be able to stay hidden for? Spotted out, Sadzin eliminates, and Dumao will provide cover fire. Legacy continue to dominate this CT side.
Yeah, they just started sticking the defuse once they recognized that it was a triple plant. There was no one that could stop them from CT, but because, you know, VP are anticipating someone to try and stop the plant, not expecting that the site would be so free, they go for a safer plant. It actually makes it harder to defend, actually, given these forward positions that VP wanted to play in that post plant. I mean, I'm just liking what I'm seeing from Legacy right now. They're setting up contingency plans. They're maintaining pressure as well. They did very little to clue Virtus.pro into that flank. They're letting these opportunities come into their favor and they're making great use of them.
Lux is going to be able to find a kill. Icy isn't there to be able to refrag this. Lux continues to spray through the smoke, and Icy can trace that out. Of course he can. Giving up that advantage that they had set themselves up for. Dumao will now have to smoke himself off inside the window. Perfecto, a grenade to follow up. Why not? Dumao's not feeling good about it. His grenade doesn't do nearly as much. Ooh, Perfecto almost tracing out Dumao on the jump across.
Yeah, that would have been a great punishment. I mean, Dumao was trapped. They knew exactly where he was. This is a very, very ambitious play. Nassim pushing forward with an AWP through the apartments, and he catches Icy top mid. He has control of the bomb. But there are players behind him that he may not expect so quickly. So this should be a pretty sharp recovery here from VP. Nassim, yeah, overwhelmed. And while that's happened, Lado is looking to take some space and restrict the movements here of VP. They have to funnel towards that B bomb site. So Dumao and Sadzin can get into the right positions.
There's going to be 15 seconds left if they keep on walking this way. The B bomb site is a closing noose. Flame needs to use this Molotov to put Dumao away, but he's not going to. It's going to the back of the bomb site instead. They're not expecting someone to be here this late in the round, and they are wrong about it. Ragdolled up is Perfecto, but it's still a 2 versus 2. This is very doable. VP's best chance in a long time, and Fame is just self-sabotage. This is just a summary of what's been going on in this team for the past 6 months, Michael.
Oh my god, he didn't plant. He switched back to his gun before the plant. Oh dear, VP.
All right, boys. We might need a tactical timeout over here.
Like, you know, you can say everything you want about their circumstance, VRS, whatever, but this is... These issues are unrelated.
Just press mouse 1 with the bomb out.
Yeah. I mean, Flit and Toro on 0 and 7. Toro gone already, and Icy's to join him in the grave at the start of this game. We've already had one massive blowout here at CAC already, courtesy of the Huns. And 3D Max, of course. They were a big part of that.
Yeah. Why more the Huns? I saw that game.
Yeah, I was also watching. It was a collective effort.
Sometimes it's not 2 teams against each other. It's 2 teams playing together. Fame, however, doesn't want to be a part of this kumbaya, playing all nice, holding hands and letting everyone get their way. No.
Listen, the bar is set low, though. I mean, 13-1. All you have to do is just not get 13-0'd.
FUT's coming in from behind. This could be a big move. They don't expect this at all. They're missing the timing. Nassim's checking this one, but he's going to end up going in through the window right into Flit's waiting arms. Flit's no longer waiting. And now he is. Dumao. Suddenly, panic sets in.
Don't run through the smoke.
Is waiting for the move to be made. Molotov at his feet. He needs to spray. Comes out of the balcony, but not before the flames will catch him anyway. 2 versus 3 now. VP. That 2v2 was your best shot before. Now, slightly better. And you've got time to not plant the bomb as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great recovery from VP, given how the round starts. I mean, a 3-on-5 that they've brought into a man advantage in the after plant. And Legacy, given the game that they've had so far, the money they have, they're of course going to give this a good old honest try.
Nice start for Lato. Saad's trained in for the bench play to make a move. That's what his responsibility is going to be. Perfecto, however, this is the exact kind of round where he's made his name. No, you can't be peeking first. Flint's going to fall as well. Lato just gives him the drive-by.
What is this nonsense? Lato hits the lotto, and its headshots aplenty on B.
I don't understand how they even got all those fights. Flit, you know what? Fair enough, man. You lost alive over at bench. Nothing you can do there. Whatever. Maybe just win your duel, but it's okay.
Yeah, he's contingency. His other 2 teammates are supposed to effectively swing off each other. But nobody seemed to coordinate their swing to hunt for a trade at all.
Legacy, they can do no wrong. I think that's what we're seeing right now. Perfecto at least does respond. Lux goes down, so does Lato. There's still no one in CT spawn. They've never had to position anyone there. That hyper-defensive spot that's used predominantly to hold on for the post-spawn, they've not even worried about it. Now Sadson comes to replace, but bombs not planted just yet. Molotov is going to be shallow as well. Saad can go out and actually explore. Tuoro, if he peeks forward for even just a second, he should get the skill. Sadson is double scope forward. Dumao, though, is using that as cover to start moving into the site itself. Comes in from the side, making a lot of noise. Good for 1 kill, but that's not going to be enough. See? Well, all right, they can't lose this one, Michael. You're right.
It would have been impressive had they. Well, not everything goes peachy keen here for Legacy. They might have started with the opening pick in middle, but yeah, breaking into that A bomb site, Virtus.pro finally find some kind of gap to exploit. And lo and behold, they will not get 13-0'd. Not today.
Thank the gods.
Well, they'll be thanking someone. Well, it's been a trying time for Virtus.pro.
That's when they're trying to get around now. Lux, however, in the meanwhile, will pick up yet another opening kill. It seems like those have been going around for free. Good trade. Can there be any cost asked for it? No. Legacy are going to be able to get out of middle without having any real concerns. Follow-up grenade onto Perfecto. Decent damage. There is no bomb on them, and IC was supposed to be prime candidate to go pick that one back up, so he will have to reposition sometime soon. If Sadson can hit that timing window, that could be troublesome.
I mean, it has been how they've been operating when they've gone out for this mid control. IC does move back for that bomb as well.
Things have slowed down. Virtus.pro feeling a little bit lost. They don't have any smokes left. This is going to have to be flashes and kills with them. But the plan is simple. Creep and crawl. Right into connector and beyond. Fame is already here. Locke's watching out for him. First kill is free. Waits for the flashes, and it's Duma who's been allowed to fake through. Lato activates from within the bomb site, leaving Tuoro alone. Legacy are going to find 9. Tuoro, sharp shot, but it's all just fireworks in a sea of bombs. Legacy, the ones who are dropping them.
Yeah, I mean, a fantastic reaction to this slow crawl that VP had planned. Once again, you know, finding themselves into a position that's actually not too terrible, but just trying to work off of mid control very heavily, and it's something that's being accounted for by Legacy. They try and play more forward, more so that they can, you know, quickly respond off of one another. I think what's been evident though is that Legacy have come in with a very clear cohesion. I'm loving how they're playing off of each other. Just how well they've been shooting has been obviously a massive benefit to them as well. But they're not missing timings, they're not missing reactions. Unlike VP, where it feels like they have missed out on plenty of those chances.
Initial kill goes the way of ding ding ding, you knew it, Legacy. Tech9 though this time on the other side, but it does feel like you are out of rounds to lose. Flit needs to make a move with that hero AK, and he's on the job, waiting for the push through the smoke to come through. But Doombound's going in from the side. Icy found and brought down, and Flit is going to be finding his efforts in vain. Right back to the connector smoke he goes, but without the bomb on his back, there's only so much he can look to do. Finds the seam, but who's finding who? 10-1 for Legacy. I think I know which way I'm dealing these cards.
What the Houdini did Doomao just do? I mean, there's like 15 smokes down top connector, and he's thrown another one, ran straight through it into Sandwich. I mean, how do you as VP react to that? These are not normal moves. I wouldn't even say Legacy are typically going to make moves like this, but they have everything they've touched has turned to gold, really, in this game so far. So why not make a crazy play that VP are just trying to get stability, meanwhile you're trying to innovate.
Doomao still innovating. Or at least someone is helping him do so. Lux is out in middle. Sodzin now defending B. They're expecting this faster play out towards the site, and Sodzin can't trace out the bomber, but he can make him hella uncomfortable. Tech9, you gave me this. How could you? But Perfecto's fighting back. Him and Icy are able to turn this into a 2 versus 1. HPs are low. This is going to be troublesome. Incendiary doesn't go where it's supposed to, but Lato's still going to be able to put it to use. Icy peeks out, takes the headshot. VP on 2.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess it's something. They've gotten a second round together. It comes off of a very desperate effort, a desperate force buy, and it's, of course, their desperate stand-in in Icy that has to deliver the final blow. It's not much, but it's something, and it's barely better than getting 13-1. And who's to say they can't recover in that second half?
Who's to say? Yeah.
Yeah,
Me.
I mean, I would say
Might
they
be
wouldn't,
me.
maybe. Yeah, actually, I'm probably there with you. But it could be a start.
Sure.
Let's not beat around the bush. The idea of coming into a tournament and not having the roster that you anticipated to play the game with is already a bit of a mental booming situation. Most people would think that sucks and just stew in that. You know, VP, I think maybe had to shake off that feeling a bit in this game, and maybe still have that feeling, actually, given the rounds they did pull together. We're still very strained. You know, they wasn't great. But they could warm up into it.
This is particularly bad, right? I mean, just looking at the way they're losing these fights and whatnot, it's not like Legacy weren't giving them plenty of chances. Legacy getting very creative, though, but still taking risks in that creativity, something the VP's never been able to punish. Coming to the second half, though, pistol round's obviously a must-win, but it's just about getting enough onto your shoulders that you can say, you know what, guys, it's fine. Next match is going to be versus the Huns in that lower bracket. We can still make this work out. We can still try and make a run for this. Come on, IC. We're in this together. And other speeches you might give. But now, in the pistol round, it's just about shooting. It's just about finding those headshots. Flit all the way deep into A main while you've got Toro trying to flank in from CT. Flit can now make his move. Will be spotted out. Expected. Most of the CTs will be coming in from spawn. Duoro has held on to that. Flit, a flashbang in his face that he's managed to avoid. He'll find the first kill, and with that, suddenly Legacy have got a timer on them. The hip spotted of Nassim. He's dodged it out, but he's not ready for Fame to come in and combine. Sodzin now holds off. He was good in the pistol round for the CT side, and now Sod continues to provide the massive amount of pressure. It's between him and Doomao to try and hold off these players, and Sodzin is doing it all on his own. The pistol round maestro Perfecto now finally comes in for a conversation, but the other conversation to be having is, do we even have enough time? It will not matter. 14-4 for Lato, as it's 11 on Legacy's shoulders.
I mean, 20 kills on Sodzin. You know, this is not the type of performance I anticipate from someone of his caliber. I mean, he's definitely good, and he's performed very well against domestic opposition. But we've seen this before with Legacy, is that, you know, when they go up against the European teams or teams from outside of their region, they can struggle to actually get production on some of their players. And I think Sadson actually is one that struggles fairly often in those types of scenarios. But he has been red hot from the start of this game, from, you know, 2 instant kills on the CT pistol to a 4K in the second round to now another very, very important multi-kill. He has been leading the way, and, you know, it's has just been the story of this game. You know, whether it's been Dumao Lato as that power combo you kind of maybe more anticipate, but that being accompanied by a very, very powerful looking Sadson. I don't know the VP ever really stood a chance.
Doom out, take it out of a hair VP on the Forest Spy are hoping to do what their pistol could not accomplish. They do have 4 players together in connector versus an A-side hit that is inevitably coming in. Fame getting ready to push through the smoke. These are good positions for FP9 to fight in from, but Lato's covering it off. A grenade to pop open the smoke is just going to lead to more death for Virtus.pro, and now as Lux comes in for the late flag, he still has 3 players to deal with. Sadson somehow still getting involved. He continues to be the name on everyone's lips as Lux comes in from the side to give Legacy match point.
Yeah, I love that call there from Legacy. They were going to pursue an A play, and then they realized how many players reacted from VP. They had so much time on the clock. They were actually thinking about resetting until they got that following kill out from bench into close connector. They knew where Lux was positioned, and they could fully capitalize and just crunch the remaining players topside connector. They kept their options open, but once they realized an opportunity was there, they took it. As has been the case in many situations this game. A 13-1, and then a 13-2.
There you go.
CAC may be full of blowouts.
At least IC can start this one off one more time. Ladder with a Molotov, picks up one. IC smoked off. It's going to be troublesome. Dumao trying to come in from the side and target his teammates. Instead, back into the CT smoke he's going. Dumao continues to use these smokes for all the pressure in the world while Legacy run over VP. It's only perfected a stand between demise of a pretty difficult condition. Perfecto. Waiting for the bomb to be tapped out before he can make his move, and that chance is never even taken. Sadson peeks out, 24-4, what a win. Legacy looking incredibly happy with how that went.
And why wouldn't you be? I mean, they played good, cohesive CS off each other. They played aggressive, Legacy-branded Counter-Strike as well throughout. You know, they took